Hey, and welcome back to my channel. Don't mind the pile of laundry behind me. It's all our curtains that I eventually need to get hung, but there they are, sitting on the bed. We've still got a lot of work to do. If you are new here, we just moved. I have recently put all of my plants back in my office and got them situated and did all the propagations that I needed to get done. And now it's kind of just figuring out where plants belong because we are down a bedroom, we're down lighting, and it's really rough right now. But I have a few plants that are really lacking because of the move. So I have here my Syngonium Albo. Yeah. Now this is actually beautiful. This is one little vine that is growing in the pot. And this is what's lacking. So today we're gonna chop it back and I'm gonna be talking through why and how this got this way, but also some care tips on it because it is one of my best plants, no matter how bad it looks right now. It is, I promise. If you are new here, this is a channel where I talk about my houseplants and do DIYs. So take a minute, subscribe, and then we'll get into the video. Okay, so we're gonna cut this guy down because this is just a little bit ridiculous. So if you have been on this channel, you will know that this used to be on a moss pole and it was doing really well. It was growing very well. It was growing into the moss pole. There's actual several aerial roots along the way here, and through the move it unfortunately got knocked off of the moss pole, and I just didn't want to put it back on the moss pole because we are running out of space here. So I have plants lining the shelves and I really need to figure out a lighting system in our bedroom so that I can put plants on the top of my shelf, because that's where this plant sat. It sat in a southwest facing window about 6 feet back and it did really well. But unfortunately, we just don't have that same light here. And so it's been sitting on our fireplace mantle, or not even the fireplace mantle, like on the little stool around the fireplace, and getting very little to no light, unfortunately. It's hanging on, but I knew I wanted to chop it back because number one, look at this long internode right here with no leaves. And then it's just got these up top. So it needs to be chopped. It's the same thing for this side. No leaves here and all the leaves are here. I have chopped this guy, I don't know how many times, honestly, and propagated it and have sold it. And so it's my mother plant and it is a little lacking. But I do want to mention that there is, again, this one's growing from the pot and I will leave it there. This leaf needs to be cut off. It's yellowing and I'm just going to do that now. So it's gone. But this is actually a really simple and great rare plant that you could purchase, especially an Albo plant. So you can see here, there are all the beautiful Albo colorings. Now, part of the problem with this plant was, and why I chopped it back was because it was growing all white. So you don't want an all white plant. I know that it's beautiful and it looks great. However, they will not last and there's nothing for the plant to sustain itself because there's lack of chlorophyll, a lack of green in it. And so really, if you're looking for an Albo, specifically an Albo, not like a Thai constellation or something like a Snow Queen that is a stable variegation, you're looking for an unstable variegation like an Albo Monstera, an Albo Adansonii, an Albo Syngonium. You want to look for a really beautiful marbling effect that has a lot of green but still has that splash of white that you want, because that's going to be your best bet on sustaining the plant and growing it to its full potential. And so that's what happened. It was all white. I chopped it all the way back. And matter of fact, I don't even know if that's the same vine or if I just threw it away, because now I'm thinking I might have thrown it away. And that might be a different one. So I had two plants actually started out with, and then I potted them together, chopped them all back, potted them up more. And so that's where all of this is coming from. So it is a very simple plant to propagate. And again, it's a very quick and easy grower. I do keep it in a southwest facing window, as I said, or above my Sansi clip lights. So I have these little 15-watt Sansi clip lights, and that's what sat actually on the top of the moss pole for the longest time. But then I decided to give that space to my variegated burley marks, and this got booted to the bedroom, but it did fine. And so it is just a testament to how easy and well like these plants can grow for you in the littlest of care, I would say. But it is a beautiful plant. I really enjoy Syngonium. This is by far one of the easiest Syngoniums I've owned, and I have owned several, and I own only one more. I own the Wellendii, and that is like a reflector green, and it's beautiful, but it is a bit trickier than this one. I do have to keep moss around the top of it to keep that moisture in because it doesn't like to dry out. This guy, I let dry all the way out, and it doesn't cause me an issue. So we're going to go ahead and just chop this guy up. I'm chopping it all the way back in the pot because there is no sense of having it. Oh, there is. Okay, there's a new growth point. So I'm chopping it all the way back to the new growth point. There's actually a new, I don't think you're going to be able to see this, a new growth point. Oh, right there. You can see that. Yeah, new growth point. So I will leave that there. And then I will take this. I propagate all of these, or my Syngoniums in the past, in water, and I've had no issue with that. You can try perlite too, because I love perlite. It's a really simple method, and I've seen it produce stronger roots in my plants before, but for this one, typically I just stick it in water because it's super easy going. Now, this plant, so this is a lot of plant or pot for one small plant. Now, it does have 2 other shoots in it, so maybe it's okay. I don't know. That kind of looks silly, but this is a giant pot because it was a giant plant and it was really well rooted. And matter of fact, I actually bought this plant, and I'll show maybe a photo of it here. Bought it in 2022, or yeah, 2022. And I bought it as, no, 2023. I bought it in 2023 in February, and I bought it in a 2-inch starter from Fitzgerald Tropics in Dallas. They do a rare pop-up at the North Haven plant shop, and I bought it from them, and it has grown so well. I mean, seriously, this guy is like a weed. It grows constantly. Now you can see here, this one is starting to produce all green again. It does have a little splash on that one, but a majority of these leaves are just all green. So we'll see what we've got going on here. This one has a new leaf unfurling right here. It actually does seem to have some variegation in it, and you can tell by the stems too sometimes, because they'll have streaks of white through them. But this one is the best variegation right here, and of course this one. This is the best marbling. Like, this is ideal for me, in my personal opinion. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Beautiful. Like, that looks like a mojito actually, but it's not. But this one is beautiful. This is a little too much white, and it probably won't last. And this one is beautiful, but most of my half moons, like when the leaf is half green, half white, don't last. But this is beautiful. Like, you can tell when I'm, maybe you can see what I'm saying about the stem. When you see it, you can see like this part's white and this part is green. From here, I've never done a wet stick propagation method on these, but I think I'm going to try wet stick Hi. Okay, Lawson, all done. Thank you. Oh, you saw it. Good job. Good job. Okay, all done. So I've never done a wet stick propagation method on it, and I actually might try to. This is looking a little corked down here, which is when your stem browns and hardens off. And typically I have not seen a good propagation return on those, but I'm just going to chop it here because this node right here would probably work. So this is what I mean by wet stick. This is a node that can be activated and a new shoot will grow from it, or right here. I stick this in perlite, sphagnum moss, cover it in a dish, and let it sit for about 6 months to see if it sprouts anything. Sometimes it takes a longer time than that. Now for this guy, I am actually going to cut here. See there, this is like a good space for a water propagation. And then I will stick this guy in water, and I will stick this guy in water. This is the top cutting. Top cuttings always tend to root faster for me than a mid cut. Then here, again, I'm probably going to cut this and try to do the wet stick propagation method on that. And then here, these look so sad. They were growing on a moss pole. So this is the result of that, because it was all warped and wrapping around it. But I'm going to cut right here, and I'm honestly going to have to get rid of, so I'll take that, get rid of this leaf, which is all green, and that's okay with me. That way I can keep this guy. Yeah, I did that. I took the leaf off, and it will be just fine. That way, this is the new growth. It'll be fine. That's the new growth. And I'll stick it in water. and then we will propagate it. So technically you have 4 new plants here because each vine is a plant. We'll let this guy sit. I'm gonna need to figure out where he goes. And then I was going to show you, because I think I have some Syngonium cuttings over here. I sure do. This one's actually dying off for whatever reason, but you've got this one up here. You've got these. So this was an all green vine. I think it was from that all green vine that I showed you. And so that will probably just continue to produce all green, but you never know. There could be a point in its life where it just starts pushing out white again. So this one has not rooted very much at all. Like you can see that little root, but it has started to push out a new growth. So I will just leave that growing. I need to change this water out. That's good. I change it out whenever I remember, which is not very often. I know everybody's like, change your water out every 2 weeks. I don't, I'm sorry. I do use filtered water though. I think that that is key in getting water propagations to last and actually root, is filtered water, because you don't know what's in your hard tap water. And it could be something that prevents the plant from rooting well. And I have tried that method out before, using tap versus filtered, and filtered just for whatever reason. Again, I don't know what I have in my system, produced better roots and faster roots. So I will stick these in water. I already have a propagation vessel, because if you saw my previous video, I had a ton of them and I tried to dwindle them down to where I didn't have, I think it was like 23 of them actually. That was ridiculous. So we're not going to do that again. But once these root, I will just pot them up into a little pot, 4-inch pot, and then we will see about how this fares. And these 2 cuts that I did in here, right there and right there, we'll see how those fare. And if they start to grow back normally, this part of the plant always starts to grow back before this gets roots and starts to produce new leaves. It's because this is already established and has the energy. This doesn't really have the energy. And so, yeah, that's my quick propagation of my Syngonium Albo. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, and we will see you next time.